A legal blow to the Trump administration. A federal judge has temporarily blocked President Trump's order banning gender-affirming care for transgender young people. Minnesota was one of 4 states that sued to challenge those orders, and the Attorney General Pam Bondi has threatened to sue Minnesota if the state does not follow Trump's orders. President Trump has been in office for about 6 weeks now, and already Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison has filed half a dozen lawsuits that are pending against the president and the administration for everything from president's attempt to end birthright citizenship to the creation of DOGE and appointing Elon Musk the head of that agency. The Attorney General joins us now. Thank you so much, Mr. Attorney General, for coming on.
Pleased to be here.
All right. You have a lot going on. Tell us about the nature of these lawsuits.
Well, the nature of the lawsuits is that they're fighting illegality from the Trump administration. I've told many people we're proud of our lawyers. They're very good lawyers. But the real truth is that these executive orders contain illegal demands.
Let's put up a slide here of all of your major lawsuits here. There are a couple in which you have won some stays, including gender-affirming care.
Right.
How do you see that coming out in the end?
I see us winning. I think that the 10th Amendment of the Constitution says that Minnesota gets to write Minnesota laws, as does North Dakota, South Dakota, Alabama, Michigan. We have federalism in the United States, and the federal government cannot say, we're going to make you do it our way. That's why we have state government. And, you know, so we're well within our rights to have our own state policies on not just gender affirming and care, but a range of things.
Right. And you told me before, this is really not about gender affirming care. It's about the state of Minnesota's right to have its own laws.
That is exactly right. I mean, ultimately, I do believe that it is wrong morally to persecute a minority group like the transgender community. I think it's wrong, but it's bigger than that, because what they're trying to do is to tell us how to run Minnesota from Washington.
All right. On that lawsuit, you're in it with 3 other states. Most of these other lawsuits, you're in it with 21 other states, including the lawsuit against cuts in NIH funding. That's
Right.
National Institute of Health.
Serious.
We've got a slide here for how much Minnesota's getting. Just in 2025 so far, $71.7 million, $37 million to the U of M, $29 million to Mayo Clinic. These are apparently on hold. This has already been appropriated, has it not, or designated for Minnesota?
There again, the illegality of the Trump administration. The Constitution of the United States allows the Congress the power to appropriate money, the power of the purse. And Trump just says, nope, I don't want it to go there. I don't care what Congress is voting on. It's going to go my way. And the law says no. The law says actually there are laws and you can't just do that. And let me just point out how devastating this is. We have a state that generates great research that is life-saving in nature. And
that's why we get so much. We're one of the leading states.
And that's why we get so much. What the Trump administration is saying is no more. We don't want the money going there.
All right. In terms of all of these suits, there's a chance that at least one of them, if not more, are going to end up before the U.S. Supreme Court that has 3 Trump appointees.
Right.
If you lose there, you're kind of done. I mean, you don't really have many options. I mean, do you think you can prevail in the U.S. Supreme Court on any of these issues?
Yes, I do, because I believe that you have Kagan, Sotomayor, and Brown, who are always going to do the right thing. Yeah, you have Alito and Thomas, who will never do the right thing. But then you have 4 justices who I think are open to persuasion. I've been impressed with some things that Coney Barrett has been open to listening to. And remember, it was John Roberts who helped save the Affordable Care Act. So I don't think all is lost. I believe we got a real fighting chance, but they are not the last arbiter. The American people are. In
another 3.5 years or 4 years.
But I mean, it's not just about voting. It's also about your First Amendment right to get out there and say that you believe this is wrong, that this is improper. The First Amendment, the right to free press, the right to freedom of expression, the right to redress grievances, the right to religiously pursue your ideas. There's a lot of things in that First Amendment which I think are the fundamental to every other constitutional right.
There are other laws that we have that other states are getting sued for. New York has a law pretty much identical to Minnesota's that allows undocumented workers to get driver's licenses. New York is being sued because of that. Pam Bondi, the U.S. Attorney General, has put Minnesota on notice on the gender affirming care. Does that concern you at all?
Well, I mean, I'm in the business of defending and filing lawsuits. If she's threatening to sue me, that's just Tuesday or Wednesday. We will defend. And I believe we will prevail because I think the Constitution of the United States says that Minnesota gets to have its own laws. And by the way, we don't say we're giving driver's license to undocumented people. We say we're giving driver's license to people who can safely operate a motor vehicle and have insurance on that car.
Okay.
The immigration stuff is up to the federal government, and we're not interfering with that.
Okay, we've got to ask you, Senator Tina Smith says she will not run in 2026. You're one of the many top names that has been sort of thrown in there. Are you going to be running for Senate in 2026?
Well, I want some advice from you. I mean, am I more effective fighting Trump as Attorney General or as Senator? How many senators have blocked Trump illegal action in the last 6 weeks? How many AGs have? I don't know. I feel a strong sense of duty to continue to defend this state in the most effective way that I can.
Okay.
And so I'm not here to make news. I'm just saying.
You can, though.
I could, but I just want to just say that as I think about transgender kids, our people trying to do research, life-saving research for Minnesotans, is I think that I have to do all I can to defend them. And is that in the Senate? Is that Attorney General's office? I don't know, but I feel I was born for this moment to try to because I love this country, and we're going to do all we can to make sure that American democracy, with all of its flaws, right, is going to prevail. And I'm going to do all I can to be part of that.
All right. Mr. Attorney General, thank you so much. Obviously, we're going to be following all of these things.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Thank you.
Thank you.